All right, greetings. So welcome to our results video for the pick a card reading for the week of September 8th through September 14th. You are to select card group number 1, card group number 2, or card group number 3. So I have a couple of quick announcements. If you want to go ahead and skip ahead to whichever card group you selected, make sure you check the timestamp down below in the description box so that you can see exactly what minute your pick a card results come in, and you can go ahead and skip ahead and then come back to these announcements. But if you want to go ahead and watch the announcements now, just continue watching. So anyway, so this week we are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of in order to walk in your highest purpose. For me, for some reason, this pick a card feels like a continuation of last week's pick a card reading. Last week we were looking at how to align yourself for your success for the end of 2019. Even though we're in September, we only have a few months left in the year of 2019. And so, we want to make sure that these last few months actually count so that when we get to the end of the year and we're making our New Year's resolutions for 2020, we will actually be making new New Year's resolutions and not, repeating the same ones that perhaps we've been repeating over and over and over again. And so last week was really about, because we're kind of on the countdown of the year. And so last week's pick a card was really about how to focus that energy so that, we're already starting to align ourselves to end the year on a high note. How you define success obviously is maybe different from how someone else defines success. Only you know what that is for you. But last week's pick a card was all about aligning yourself, getting yourself in position for that success. And so this week's pick a card kind of feels like a continuation of that, because we are looking at what you need to know in order to be aligned to your highest purpose. And so, your highest purpose is aligned to your highest success. And that could be in any area of your life. It could be your love life. It could be your career life. It could be, just you as a person, things you need to do, things you need to do, as, being the person that you are, things that that you should have been doing for quite some time. And maybe you've been dragging your feet on it, as far as like improvement of your life, improvement of just certain aspects of yourself. Because I find that a lot of times we are looking outward, right? We're looking at, is this job right for me? Is this potential partner right for me? Should I go to this school or should I go to that school? We're looking at, all of these things outside of ourselves. Should I move to this neighborhood? Should I move to this city or state? But we're not oftentimes looking inward enough, in my opinion. We're oftentimes looking at, we're looking for things outside of ourselves to tell us what we should be doing. And so what happens is then our focus is always on something outside of ourselves. But when we know who we are and we're constantly doing the proper self-reflection, we're constantly checking in on ourselves, then we'll begin to know what is good and best for us. Because some things are good, but it doesn't mean that it's best for you, right? You could eat a particular food that is actually good, it is actually healthy, but if your body chemistry is not designed to maybe digest that sort of food or whatever, or maybe you have an allergy to it, it could kill you. So, a lot of times we look at things that are good and we say, well, maybe I should do that because that seems like a good idea, or that seems like a good man or a good woman, or that seems like a good, place to live. But is it good for you? The only way to know what's good and best for you is to know yourself. And so this pick a card reading is, like I was saying before, is piggybacking on last week's. And if you missed last week's, that's okay. Last week is come and gone. It's okay. Just focus on this one. But, this week's, we're looking at our what do we most need to know, do, and be aware of for our highest purpose, you know. And so we're looking at all of the areas of our lives and making sure that it's aligned to our highest purpose. So that is kind of the focus of, not kind of, that is the focus of this week's Pick a Card. And so, like I said, I believe it was last week or maybe the week before that, I said that our Pick a Card readings are a collaboration. You know, if you're looking for me or any other reader to just tell you about yourself without you doing the work, without you, in the work meaning doing the self-reflection with, learning who you are, because that's always a learning process. You never, I don't believe we fully get there 100% all the time. You know, we're constantly growing, so we're constantly learning who we are, what we like, what we don't like, what we want to do with ourselves. You know, so you have to be, and I have to be doing that self-reflective work continually, in order to, know what our highest purpose is and know what we want to do. And so these readings are very collaborative. You know, I can't tell you anything about yourself that at the deepest levels of yourself you don't already know. I'm acting as a mirror, just reflecting that back to you, that energy, that awareness back to you. And so I'm going to ask you that as you watch your results, that you think about who are you? Who are you, and what is your highest purpose? What is your highest good? You know, and how are the things in your life aligning to that? You know, rather than just looking at everything outside of yourself and trying to squeeze yourself into all of the circumstances of life. How do the circumstances of life fit into your life? You know, for example, not, is that school good? Should I go? But no, how is that school actually going to benefit me? Am I ready for that opportunity of that school? I'm just using school as an example. So only you can do that work, basically, is what I'm saying. When you listen to your results, you should be going back and asking yourself, okay, how do the results that I received in this Pick a Card align to my highest good, my highest purpose, and what I know about myself at this time? If you're not doing that, then this reading is going to be meaningless. It's not going to really not meaningless, but it's not going to have the type of impact that you are needing it to have. All right. And so make sure that you click the link below to book a personal reading. These readings here, these Pick a Cards, are open for everybody, but a personal reading is designed specifically for you. So you can select a general question reading. So if you have a general question about your life, something very specific that you have about your life, you want to make sure that you click that reading. To get a natal chart reading, to understand basically really your purpose, who you are, the decisions that you make, why you make them, what you like, how you attract what you attract. I would suggest that you get the Magic of Me Intuitive Natal Chart reading. That's a full natal or birth chart reading. If you want a smaller version, which I do suggest for people who are not familiar with astrology and you're just coming to really, because a full natal chart sometimes can be overwhelming for some people. So if you just want a smaller version of that, get the mini edition of the Magic of Me Intuitive Natal Chart reading. The mini edition just focuses on your sun, moon, and rising sign. And so I can give you more clarity and details on that. When you click the link below, you can actually go to each one of these readings I'm talking about and read more about them, so that you just have more information on what they are and how they can be beneficial to you. Also, you can get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, which really helps you to use self-love as what I call like a magical tool to transform your life. And what else is there? Also, if you would like to leave a donation, if these Pick a Card readings are beneficial to you, when you click on that link, you can scroll down and you will be able to connect to my Cash App and my PayPal accounts, whichever one works for you, and just leave a donation. I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's $500, whatever. It's really the exchange of energy. because if you're benefiting from this, then you want to operate in the law of reciprocity. And so they'll always give that opportunity there. Also, thank you to everyone who has already commented on Instagram and Facebook. You know that you have already automatically been entered to win our September giveaway. And I believe that is it. Hopefully, I really hoped it will be up by now, but hopefully very soon the Everybody's a Virgo, including you video will be available. So make sure you check back here on my channel for that video when it is in the next couple of days. It should be available. All right, so I think that's it for our announcements. Those of you who selected card group number 1, your reading is up next. All right, so welcome to the results video for card group number 1. Thank you to everyone who has already commented on Facebook and Instagram your card selections. You have automatically been entered to win our September giveaway. If you're watching this by Monday, September 9th, and you're seeing this on YouTube, make sure you comment your card selections below so that you can also be entered to win our September giveaway. Before I get into it, if you skipped ahead, I want to encourage you to make sure that you go back and watch the announcements, because I gave some very important information about what it means to select whichever card group that you select. And I went into more detail about the meaning and purpose of this week's pick a card reading, how it's piggybacking on last week's, and how you are collaborating with me in these pick a cards. So make sure, even if you watch this first, make sure you go back and watch the announcements, because I gave some very important information there. All right, and so let's go ahead and get into it. On yours, I have these very beautiful flowers, and these flowers actually came in a bouquet that I received last week for my birthday. Yes, it is Virgo season, and I'm a Virgo sun sign. And so I'm doing quite well at keeping my bouquet of flowers alive and well. That doesn't always happen, but so I just laid these flowers here because all of this week I have flowers on all of the cards, and so I'm not quite sure what kind of flowers these are, but I love flowers because they are a symbol of life. When you receive flowers, it's usually done out of love or appreciation for you. Also, when you give flowers, it is usually done out of love and appreciation for another person. So when you give flowers, it is like giving life. And even when you, let's just say you lay flowers out for your ancestors, or you go to a grave site and you leave flowers, it's like you're acknowledging that that person that you love is actually still with you. They're not... they've transcended this physical life, but they are still alive. So flowers are a symbol of life. And so I just wanted to put that symbol on there. All right, and so your top card here is from a goddess energy deck. Some of the goddesses I'm familiar with, some I am still learning about. And so I will read the message that they have, that this particular goddess has for you for this week of September 8th through the 14th. The goddesses are really resonating with that feminine energy. Whether you are a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. It's really the message that they have for you that is important. And so the goddess that you received, wow, this goddess came up like 2 weeks ago. Ix. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but she definitely deals with mystery and secrets. And keep in mind, this week we are looking at what you most need to know, do, or be aware of in order to walk in your highest purpose. So again, make sure you go back and listen to my announcements, because I talk about how your purpose, nobody can give you your purpose except for you. Or something that you were born into. So it could be something ancestral. It could be something that you are connected to spiritually. But purpose is not, a lot of times people are walking around looking for their purpose, and so their purpose becomes like a secret, like a mystery. They don't know how to access, their divine purpose. So, even though I haven't read what this goddess is saying just yet this week for you all. I am feeling that for some of you who selected card group number 1, you really need to get in more in tune with yourself, and not just look for your purpose outside of yourself. Like, don't wait for somebody to tell you who you are, what you should be doing with your life, and what the meaning and purpose of your life is. That's something we live in this. In our world right now is so fast moving and so fast paced, right? And so it's almost like I'm feeling that some of you may feel like, I don't even have time to figure out my purpose. I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying to survive. And I wish I knew my purpose. I wish I had a higher purpose than just surviving. I wish I knew what it was, but I don't. So I'm just kind of every day, I just get up and just do what's in front of me. And, the part of that is in line with your purpose, getting up and doing what's in front of you, facing the day. But you have a deeper purpose. You have a deeper, there's a deeper meaning to your life. Life should be more fulfilling. And that's how you know your purpose, because you really have a sense of, when you're walking in your purpose, there's a sense of fulfillment. Even when your purpose is challenging, right? Even if your purpose is something that is challenging, it's still meaningful. It's still fulfilling. You still feel like you're in tune. You feel like you're in line with something higher than yourself, with your higher self, or with God, or, your ancestral purpose, what have you. But I'm really feeling that some of you who selected this card group have been detached from your purpose in some kind of way. Or maybe it's something you're seeking and you just never feel like you're quite there. All right. So let's see what this particular goddess has to say to you, the message that she has. And I'm going to read 2 messages. The first one is the empowerment message, how this particular goddess is empowering you, or, the empowerment that message that she is offering you. And then the alignment message. So when you're out of alignment with your purpose this week, that is, the alignment message will be for you. And make sure you come back and listen to this reading throughout the week so that you can remember what was said today. All right. So the empowerment message says, there are times when you must surrender your need to know. Some things open up only when they choose to, not by demand. The mysterious and the unknowable is the domain of the Greek goddess Nyx. Nyx is how it's spelled. She shows you the veils that may not part for you at this time. Right now, you're meant to keep on your path, trusting that secrets will be revealed as the goddess Nyx decides. Remain true to your intentions and keep on moving forward, remaining curious and open to what you can discover. Allow your need to know the details right now to fall away, and just be present to all that life is offering you. Judge nothing as good or bad, and just be with what arises. Soon the treasure you seek will be revealed, and it will be better and more valuable than you could have imagined. This goddess knows what is best for you. Trust and all will be revealed in divine timing. Wow. And so that's the empowerment message. And it kind of goes in line with what I was just saying. It's that, some of you may feel like you're just waking up and just facing whatever challenges or facing whatever, it doesn't even have to be challenges, just facing the life that's before you, but it may not feel as fulfilling. And that's okay. What you need to know is being revealed in divine time. What you seek will be revealed to you. What you need to know will be revealed to you as long as you are faithful to your path, as long as you are doing what you need to do every single day, whatever that means for you, without being discouraged because you don't know all the details just yet. You don't know everything that there is to your purpose just yet, and that's fine. Just continue to seek. And the alignment message says, the goddess of the night, mystery and secrets, Nyx, ask you to ask yourself a deep question about denial. What secret have you kept from yourself? Could you be remaining in a relationship that isn't working for you because you won't address the fear of what will happen if you leave or do things differently? Have you been afraid to ask for what you need? Are you in an addictive spiral thinking one more bite of food or one more glass of wine will make you feel better? Whatever it is that you are refusing to face, this goddess promises if you do, you will be amazed at the beauty of your liberation and power. She offers you this alignment task for you to engage in rigorous honesty and self-evaluation, coupled with a fierce self-love and commitment to growth. Be optimistic, because the moment you are willing to name your unease, you claim your inner peace, strength, and hope. You can do it. Wow. And so this, again, it ties into what I was saying, even in the announcements, and this is not a shameless plug, but I said, I offered my book, The Magic of Self-Love, because what I find is that so often that we do things not out of self-love. We do things because we have to. We do things because we feel pressure. We do things because, we have certain requirements in our lives. And so it's not aligned to, our actions are not always aligned to our highest good and our highest purpose in our self-love. And so what this goddess is saying to you is that, when you do that self-evaluation, when you engage in fierce self-love, and you are committed to your own growth and development, then you won't align to things that aren't for your highest good and your highest purpose. The more, and I'm really feeling this strongly, the more some of you continue to look for your value and your purpose in other people, in your career, in your things, in your children, in your house, and all of these outward things, all of those outward things will prove to be unfulfilling to you, even when they're good, even if you have a good job, even if you have good children, a good spouse, a good partner, a good career, whatever. If you are solely finding your value in those things, see, those things should be a reflection of your values, right? So instead of finding your value, let's just use career, for example. Instead of looking at your career and saying, I do this and this is so amazing, I help these many people, and I do this and I'm so good at what I do and that's what makes me valuable. No, it should be the reverse. I am valuable and I'm worthy. And from that place of value and worthiness, I then lend some of my value into that career. And so that career or that profession is more blessed because I'm there, not the reverse, So when you understand who you are and your purpose and your value, you give it in such a way, you're not giving it because you're trying to get value. You're giving it because you are valuable and you know that what you're giving is of value. You don't find your value and your purpose in those things. You know your purpose, and that's why you are doing those things. Or that's why, for example, if you are partnering with someone or married to someone, and sometimes people find so much of their value in who they are married to, or they think that it's their marriage or their children or whatever is what makes them important. No, you're important, and that's why you align to that marriage, or that's why you chose to have those children, or how you're raising your children is aligned to your purpose and your values. Not the reverse. Not I wasn't valuable until I had children. No, I'm valuable and I have a strong purpose, and my children are a part of that. Okay, so it's not so much about finding yourself in other things. It's about those other things being a reflection of who you are. That's really important. All right. So your cards here, the one on the bottom is just general information you need to know, or your energy, and the one that crosses it tells you what can support that or what can hinder that. And you receive, the Six of Cups, and the Emperor. The Six of Cups and the Emperor. This is crossing that one. So the Six of Cups is very interesting that I even said something about, your family connections and finding value in, maybe your children, or just your ancestral lineage, whatever, because the Six of Cups is definitely a card of the past, of nostalgia, of reflecting on your past, of reflecting on, what brought you to this point. It's a card of remembering the good old days. It's a card of remembering the sweetness and innocence of childhood, whether it's your children or your own childhood. So this week of September 8th through the 14th, you may find that this is a week where you are reflecting on your own innocence, your own the times when life was less challenging, the times when life was when all life was all sunshine, you know what I mean? Sunshine and flowers. Wow, I have flowers here. So sunshine and flowers, and when life was all good. And I would highly encourage you, because there's one way of looking at that in a negative aspect, which is more like where you only see the good in the past and you can't see the good in the here and now. But what I'm really feeling is that you need to pull some of that goodness from your past into your here and now. You remember the times when life just seemed so much more pleasurable or so much more innocent or less challenging? What made it like that? Well, when you were a child, what made it like that was that you had fun. When you were a child, you played hide and go seek, you went outside to play, even when you were upset, it probably didn't last long, it's just a simpler time. And so you may have been over complicating things in your life up until now, like trying to discover every secret, trying to understand your purpose, trying to understand who you are. And the Six of Cups is saying, you didn't have that problem when you were a child. Most children don't have that problem. They just enjoy life. And that is part of the purpose and meaning of life, is to enjoy it. Not try to solve every problem, meet every challenge, you know what I mean? But to enjoy life. To enjoy life. That is part of your purpose. You may have been walking away from enjoying life. You may have been finding it quite difficult to enjoy the simple things in life. Even when you are enjoying the simple things in life, like, you're eating that bowl of ice cream, but the whole time you're stressing about that bill that needs to be paid, or you're worried about, some obligation that you have to meet, and so you can't even enjoy the simple things because you're overwhelmed by the more complicated things in life, the more complicated things of adulthood. And so the Six of Cups is reminding you to make sure that you find pleasure in life, make sure that you find enjoyment in your life, and not just be so overwhelmed by, the adulting process. Now, the Emperor is definitely a part of the adulting process, but he's not stressed about it. You know what I mean? If you look at this particular card, he is standing on top of the world. He is holding, his staff is the Kemetic symbol, or the Egyptian symbol, the Ankh, which is the symbol of life. And so he understands. The Emperor is when I see this card, I know that it's time to, put up healthy boundaries, to put yourself and those that matter to you, basically to secure your world. Yeah, secure even your inner child, secure your, so I'm looking for it. It's like bringing security to that innocent part of you, making sure that you set healthy boundaries around yourself so that you can enjoy life, so that you can, and also securing your energy. The Emperor always protects his empire. So it's, perhaps you have been dispersing your energy in a kind of way where everybody gets parts of you, where you're feeling drained because, you got this obligation, you got that obligation, this person needs you, that person needs you. And the Emperor is saying, no, but remember to secure your inner child. Remember that self-care is important. Remember that even things like protecting your resources, because again, the Emperor is governing his empire. And so one of the things that's a part of your personal empire is your resources. So you may have been draining your resources, financial resources, energy resources, time resources, or whatever, to things that don't even matter. I'm really feeling that some of you need to put strong boundaries up. And it doesn't mean when you think of an emperor, the boundaries is not so much about having boundaries up because you're so in defense mode. You're putting boundaries up so that those things that are most precious to you can flourish. When an emperor puts boundaries up around his empire, her empire, right? And it's all about securing the resources, the people, the way of life of the people who live there. And so anything that is a hindrance to your joy, anything that's a hindrance to your financial abundance, anything that is a hindrance to your fruitfulness, to your feeling of fulfillment, anything that leaves you feeling drained, you want to put boundaries up around that. But don't get stuck in just putting boundaries up and just saying no, 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 no to everybody, but start saying yes, 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 yes to yourself in that process. The emperor doesn't just put boundaries up to keep enemies out from stealing their agricultural resources, right? They put those boundaries up also so that those fruits and vegetables can grow to feed the people in the community. So in saying no to certain people, make sure that you're also simultaneously saying yes to yourself this week. If you want to walk in your highest purpose, you've got to allow yourself time to just breathe and be a child, which means putting boundaries up, or getting back into your childlike self, right? Which means putting boundaries up against anything and anyone that would keep you from just breathing this week, from experiencing joy this week, from just getting more in tune with your inner child, with your inner self. Don't be so busy that you don't allow yourself just pleasure and play and fun so that you can remember what brings you joy, what brings you happiness. That's not something for you to experience later in life. It's something for you to experience now. And these cards can run, together. The emperor, sometimes, these two cards can seem like they're opposed to one another. Like either I'm going to be a child or I'm going to be a responsible adult. No, you be a responsible adult so that your inner child, and so that you can enjoy this brightness and sunniness and joy and pleasure of life. And that's the job of the emperor, is to make sure that the people in his world, in his empire, are protected, well fed, loved, can enjoy life, aren't always living in fear. So you have to do that for yourself. You have to put certain boundaries up so that you're not always living in fear, worry, doubt, strain. And some of you, in order to do that, you just have to go back to remembering what is it about life that is joyous and pleasurable. It's just that simple. You don't have to know how to solve every single problem. You don't have to know every single secret just yet, but you do need to remember what brings you joy. So that then you can start protecting it. So then you can start creating boundaries around that. So that then you can start allowing more of that into your life. All right. And so the wisdom card that you received this week is soulmates. So let's see what that says. One second. Soulmates. Harmonious partnerships, love, friendship, companionship, a relationship fostering personal growth. You are meant to evolve and transform with the companionship of others. Certain people enter into your life in order to take you to the next level of healing, consciousness, and authenticity. It is always a reciprocal experience, although the results for each of you will vary. You know these people by the strong pull drawing you toward them, and sometimes by a strong aversion to them initially as well. Soulmates can be friends for life or remain in your life for a short period of time. No matter what, you will be changed in ways you can't possibly fathom now. Pay attention to these people. They are your greatest gifts. So some of you are thinking you have to figure it out all on your own. And even though I said earlier, about being mindful not to find your purpose just in other people, but your soulmates, those people that you have allowed in your life, are a reflection of how you feel and think about yourself. So pay attention to the people who are in your life right now. Are they aligning to your highest purpose? If they are, keep them there. If they're not, then, allow them to just kind of go away from your life. But when I see the card soulmates, I know that there are people in your life who truly love you. And some of you need to hear that you are truly loved, you are truly appreciated. And some of you, I feel, also are afraid of living your purpose, because you're afraid of what the soulmates in your life will say about that. So you may be keeping part of yourself a secret, part of yourself hidden, part of yourself away from being revealed, because you don't know what people are going to say about it, do about it, how they're going to feel about it. But understand that your real soulmates, meaning your true friends, your true partners for life, will appreciate your elevation and your growth. They already see the value in yourself that you may not even see in yourself. They already know your worth, and they're rooting for you. And so as you begin to walk in your purpose, as you begin to allow yourself time to just go to your childlike self, go into that part of you that is innocent and pure and not worried about what people think. Children, the Six of Cups, that energy is not worried about what other people think. Children run around and play hide and go seek and sweaty and dirty and nasty, and then come inside. They don't care how they smell. They know you still love them. You know what I mean? Your soulmates will still love you no matter what. Some of you, it's really time for that growth and that elevation in your life. And really that growth isn't in achieving more goals, it's becoming more authentically you. In order to become more authentically you, you have to know who you are. But your soulmates will support that. Your true friends, your true loved ones, will support and walk with you in that growth and development as you go through that process. All right, so that is your reading for the week of September 8th through the 14th. Make sure you Google this particular goddess if you want to know more about her. Make sure that you click the link below in order to book a personal reading. Go back and listen to this reading again throughout the week, because it may make more sense to you later on. And also make sure you go back and listen to the announcements, because I go into more detail about what walking in your purpose truly means. All right, so it's been my pleasure to share this wisdom and guidance with you. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thank you. All right, so greetings. Welcome to the Pick a Card results for card group number 2. If you selected card group number 2, I want to say thank you already to those who commented on Instagram and Facebook. If you're watching this on or before Monday, September the 9th, and you're watching this on YouTube and you want to comment your card selections, make sure you do so below so that you can be automatically entered to win our September giveaway. Now, for those of you who skipped ahead and you missed the announcements, after you watch this results video, I still highly encourage you to go back and watch the announcements, because I talk about why this week's pick a card is very much connected to last week's pick a card reading, and how we are co-collaborators in this particular effort, in this reading and whatnot. So make sure you go back and listen to that, and also make sure that you come back here and watch your results again throughout the week. Don't let this be the only time, because something you hear today you might miss, and you might catch it again later in the week, or something you hear today might not make sense until later on in the week. So you want to do that. Make sure you come back and watch this again as well. All right, so this week we are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of in order to walk in your highest purpose. And purpose is such an important thing, right? And that's why it's kind of connected to last week. If you missed last week, that's fine. You're here today, so that's all that matters. But we're looking at what you need to know, do, or be aware of to walk in your highest purpose this week. And so the rosebuds that you have on the top of your cards, rosebuds are, sometimes roses become so cliche, right? But it's a reason why roses and rosebuds are called the queen of flowers. because of the type of energy that they carry. They really resonate with the heart chakra, and your purpose is definitely connected to your heart. You know, a lot of times we already know what our purpose is in our heart, but we're looking at the outside world. We're looking at what we're hearing, what people are saying or what other people are doing, and we're trying to find our purpose outside of ourselves. But our purpose is very much connected to what our heart is saying. So rosebuds are very much connected to the heart chakra. So that's definitely love and romance and sweetness and all of that kind of stuff. But the heart chakra also deals with healing and forgiveness and courage even. You know, when somebody says, oh, that person has heart, you know, that's because they have courage. So the heart has so many uses. The heart chakra energy has so many uses, and it cannot be underestimated because nothing else functions without that heart energy. You know, you can even be brain dead, right, and still live, but you know, when your heart stops beating, you know, that's it. You know, so that heart chakra energy and that heart, that ability to love and receive love, to give love, to be compassionate, to be forgiving, and still being able to, and not allowing the circumstances of life to knock you off of your purpose, that takes heart, right? So that's all dealing with the heart chakra. So that's why, you know, you all receive rosebuds. That's why that's there. All right, so this top card here is coming from a goddess energy deck. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. This goddess energy has a message for us all. That feminine energy has a message for us all. I don't turn these cards over before I do the reading, so I don't know what goddess is here. Some of the goddesses I'm very familiar with, some I am just learning. And so the goddess that you all received, Sophia. Wow, she appeared a couple of weeks ago in a pick a card reading. Deals with wisdom, divine wisdom. Sophia, where we get our word philosophy from, meaning the love. Wow, love of wisdom. So with me even talking about love with these rosebuds and wisdom and your purpose. Love and purpose go hand in hand. And it's not always just romantic love, right? It's not always just who or what you love, but it's a higher love. It's a love of following your purpose. It's a love of discovering your purpose and your meaning in life, you know. And in order to really walk in your purpose, that requires wisdom. You can't do it without wisdom. You know, you can hit and miss on it here and there, but to really walk in it and thrive in it and to exist in it and to be in it, it takes wisdom. And your purpose is higher than your job. I know a lot of times, you know, when people say, well, what's your purpose? Oh, my purpose is, you know, to be a police officer. Or my purpose is, no, you know, your purpose is higher than your career. You know, your career actually can be a reflection of your purpose and can align to your purpose, but in and of itself is not your purpose. You know, your reason for living, your reason for being. And so let's see what this goddess says. Let's see what the goddess Sophia, what wisdom she has for you. I'm going to read the empowerment message, which is how you can walk in an empowering way in your divine wisdom. And then I'll also read the alignment message, so that if you find yourself out of alignment with wisdom throughout the week, the alignment message is what you need to know. So that's also why I say come back throughout the week and listen again, because sometimes you can get off track and not even realize it. But when you listen again, you'll know where you are and what you need to do. So the empowerment message is, human wisdom comes from personal experience, but divine wisdom is unknown to our life experience. When we ask for help, we are asking for guidance from a source greater than us, a great unknowable mystery. When we receive it, it is often life-altering and affects us in ways beyond our comprehension. The Gnostic goddess Sophia, who brought the material world into being, arrives to show you how fate and destiny operate in relationship to synchronicity. When you least expect it, opportunities and meetings spring up as if out of nowhere. Your life begins to work out and you sense your alignment with a higher purpose and power. Trust you are divinely protected and directed. Practice the act of faith before results. This is an essential key in co-creating your world. And the alignment message is, when you are disconnected from your higher power, you begin to believe that you alone are the source of abundance in life. It is wise to commit to a conscious and deliberate daily connection to a higher power. When you forget to do this, you may place too much attention on materialism, work, money, goals, and the like. The goddess Sophia reminds you that it's the spiritual aspect and the invisible aspect, the essence of your desires, that means more than the form. You may be mistaking something false for divine guidance right now. It's time to come back into alignment and receive true guidance, divested from wishful thinking or ego attachments. Opening to the wisdom of the mystery of the universe is your alignment task right now. Let the goddess Sophia guide you to your magic. The most meaningful and beautiful expression of yourself is waiting for you. Wow. So, divine wisdom this week. When you are being empowered by it, you know how to ask for help. You know how to give. You know how to give wisdom as well as receive wisdom and guidance. You are able to trust. And you know that when you hear true wisdom, it resonates with your heart. When you find yourself out of alignment with divine wisdom, you get too attached to, like I was saying earlier, to your job or the things that you're doing, and or just how much money you have or how many goals you checked off of your bucket list or your to-do list or your goals list, right? And you start believing that you are those things, but those things are actually a reflection of you and your purpose. They are not in and of themselves. They are not your purpose. And when we start doing that, we actually start feeling unfulfilled, because we think that fulfillment only comes from everything that we're doing. And while we can be fulfilled in some ways through what we're doing, if we don't have that deeper wisdom, you ever see somebody who is just, they may have a lot of money or they may be doing a lot of things, and from the outside their life seems so interesting, and then when you talk to them, they're really sad and depressed or unfulfilled behind the scenes, and you're like, how are you so unhappy? How are you so unfulfilled when you have this and you've done this and you've been here and you met this person and that person? It's because they're trying to find their purpose in people and things and money outside of themselves, instead of allowing those things to be a reflection of their purpose. They're placing their purpose in their happiness in those things. And so the wisdom for you this week is to not get caught up in everything outside of yourself. Remember that it is you who brings purpose to your world. It's you who brings purpose to your job, your career, the things that you do. And is not necessarily, is not the reverse. Okay. So walk in wisdom and be open to hearing. Be open to hearing from others this week. You may think that you know everything that you need to know, but there may be some things you just don't understand. And so you be open to divine guidance, however it shows up in your life this week, okay? So the cards that you received, the bottom card is your general energy and guidance of wisdom. The card that crosses it is what helps give deeper insight to that, let you know what can help it or what can hinder it. So you received, wow, the 3 of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles. The 3 of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles. All right, so let's get into it. So the 3 of Swords is a card. Whenever I see it, obviously you could probably see it when you're looking at this card. It's like swords in the heart, right? Piercing the heart. It's like being stabbed in the heart. And the 3 of Swords sometimes can be scary when you first look at it, because it feels like heartbreak, right? It feels like betrayal in some ways, or sadness, or, you know, just something that's impacting the heart in a very painful kind of way. And that may be the case. You know, this week, you may come across information or be told something or hear something or have an experience that feels heartbreaking or heart shattering or really impacts your heart chakra energy, right? And I say that because the swords reflect mental energy, reflect information. The swords basically can represent information. Why does the lighting change when I do that? Whatever. The swords represent information a lot of times, mental awareness, logic, reason, you know. And so when you bring logic, reason, and information to heart matters, because heart matters are usually illogical. They don't have reason. You love who you love. You don't know why. You love doing what you love doing. You don't know why, you know. So when those two things come together, it can be a clash. It can be a clash because you can hear something or find out about something that really just pierces your heart in a way that can be uncomfortable. But I always tell people that it's the uncomfortable things that bring clarity, that bring about change. So you can't run away from things that are uncomfortable. You can't hide your head in the sand. You can't, like I said, because the swords are information and mental clarity, you can't hide from the facts. You can't hide from reality just because it doesn't make your heart feel good. You can't hide from the truth. When I see the Three of Swords, it's like becoming in tune with some sort of element of truth that on one hand can feel heartbreaking because you want to stay in the feel good place, right? But at the same time, it's liberating because it sets you free. It keeps you from giving your heart energy to people, places, and things that aren't beneficial to you. So the sooner you get over the heartbreak aspect of it, and you see the wisdom that is coming with whatever awareness is coming to you, the sooner your heart can heal. And you know, so this may be something that you're experiencing this week. It may be something that you're going through already, or something that, you know, has already happened. But when I see the Three of Swords, I know that, you know, it's like, I'm not saying that this is only an example, so I'm not saying that this is you. Again, if you want to know specifics, you can book a personal reading. But it's almost like you're so in love with somebody, right? And you in your heart of hearts, deep within your heart, you feel like they might be cheating on you, but you're not sure. But your heart knows that they are, but you don't have the information, you don't have the facts to prove it. So you're just kind of still in la la land. And then boom, these swords of information just pierce your heart with the truth, the unadulterated truth. You see it, somebody tells you, you get a picture, whatever, and now you can't deny it anymore, right? And so that moment of truth is hurtful. The moment of truth, when it's something that you are closely connected to, something closely connected to your heart, even dealing with your children, right? It could be, you know, you're looking at your children through rose-colored glasses, and then, you know, some truth comes out about them, or they, you know, that maybe they reveal to you their purpose, you know, and you're like, oh no, I don't want you to be that way. I don't want you to go that path. I don't want you, you know, and that truth, because that child is connected to your heart, that truth is heartbreaking to you. But the sooner you reconcile yourself with the truth, the sooner you can get on board and heal and get over it, right? And you know, the truth will set you free, sort of thing. So this week, or maybe leading up to this week, you have had some kind of, maybe your purpose is connected to another person, or you have given over so much of your life's purpose, or so much of what makes you valuable, or what makes your life meaningful is connected to another person or your job or, your education or something, and then a truth comes out about that, and only you know what that truth is, but some sort of truth or some sort of awareness comes out about that is heart shattering. But the thing about the heart is that it's so resilient. That's why we can love after being heartbroken. That's why we can forgive. That's why we can, continue on with life. When I see the Three of Swords, I'm also aware of the fact that, it's important to not become bitter. It's important to, that truth didn't come to you to make you bitter or to make you no longer believe. And again, even with beliefs, like your purpose you may have, had so much of your purpose tied up in maybe even a religious belief, or maybe not even just the religion itself, but maybe your particular congregation or your particular, your faith group within the bigger group. And then some truth comes out about that, and it's, it can be heart shattering to shatter your faith. And the thing is that you can't have faith without wisdom. You can't have, faith, without wisdom, you can't grow without that. And so the thing about the heart is that it's constantly elevating, it's constantly growing. To me, it's the part of you that's most connected to God, to the divine, to your ancestors, to your source, to your higher self, however you define that. And so use whatever wisdom comes to you as a way to grow, instead of being stuck in any heartbreak or disappointment. It may not be total heartbreak for you, but just any disappointment that really in your heart just feels so disappointing. Use that to help you to discover more of who you are and your purpose, instead of allowing it to knock you off of your purpose. Is crossed by the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles is really about financial or material sustainability. Meaning it's not so much even about getting money or getting the secure job or getting anything that sustains you in the material world, that keeps you afloat, but it's about just being sustainable, and that place of security, that place of, okay, this is what makes me feel safe and secure. But the flip side of the Four of Pentacles is that sometimes we hold on so tightly to the things that make us secure, that when they're taken away from us, we don't know who we are. I wish I had my other deck over here, because my other deck of the Four of Pentacles, the man is actually holding on to his pentacles so tightly, like he's afraid to let go. So I'm going to ask you, what is it in your life that you are afraid to let go of, that you think that, if this person is no longer in my life, or this person isn't the way that they've always been, or my job changes, or my children grow and change, that if that change happens, it just will knock me. So I will no longer feel safe and secure anymore. Ask yourself that this week, because that may be where this feeling, this heart chakra challenge comes from, is not feeling safe, is no longer feeling secure. It's like when you build your whole life around a particular job, and then you lose that job, then it's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay this bill? How am I going to do that? But there's no lack in the universe. So everything you need will be provided for you. But this week you are challenged to look at ways in which you have set up for yourself this notion of being safe and secure if you have a certain amount of money, or if you have this kind of job, or if you have this kind of spouse, or you have this person in your life. And then if that thing changes, grows, maybe that person is growing into their own divine purpose. And so now you're challenged to grow into your purpose too. It's like when you have a spouse, you're in a marriage and that person is growing, but you're not. It feels like they're leaving you. But really, maybe it's time for you to understand that you have your own divine purpose. It doesn't mean that the marriage necessarily will or has to end. It just means that, your purpose is your purpose. And the marriage is a reflection of that purpose. Your job is a job, but your purpose sometimes for a time may include that job and a time may not. So what is it that you're holding on to in the physical world? It was so interesting. The pentacles represent the physical world, but things come and go in the physical world. People come and go, jobs come and go. Even the seasons are a reflection that we have life, and then like right now we're at the end of summer, so it's still hot, it's still summertime, but then before you know it, the fall, the leaves will begin to fall, the things will begin to die off, and then we'll go into winter where it's cold and nothing is growing, and then spring comes again. So even the nature is trying to show you that life is meant to change, life is meant to evolve. Nothing stays stagnant, nothing stays the same. So the very things that you are holding on to so strongly, like if you are resistant to change, then this heart issue is going to be quite painful, because you're trying to hold on so tightly to everything and everyone that you know. But the more you realize that people and places and things change, and even the things that you thought made you so secure will change. And sometimes even, like money, currency, that's why it's called currency. It flows. You have it, and then sometimes you don't, but then it comes back to you. And that's what wisdom, this card here, Sophia, is trying to tell you, that if you get so caught up in your goals, your job, your spouse, your material wealth, and your gaining, you lose sight of the fact that these material resources that you have, and material resources, I mean anything that you can smell, touch, taste, and feel. That could be your spouse, that could be your children, your house, your bank account, your job, whatever it is, even your health. You know what I mean? And you're so thinking that you put so much faith in those things, then you don't allow things to change and to grow, and you don't even trust that when they change and they grow, or they leave, that something better won't come to you. You trust in what you can't see, because everything that you can see comes from what you can't see, right? So this week you were highly encouraged to give thanks for the things that made you feel safe and secure and made you feel well provided for up until this point. But if something should change and new awareness comes that makes you feel a jolt of insecurity, like, oh my gosh, everything I loved, everything I believed and hoped in is leaving, understand that it's coming back. Understand that these things are happening really to show you that, not that you can't trust other people and other things, but that things grow and change, because you should be growing and changing and walking in your divine purpose. Again, we're looking at your divine purpose, walking in your divine purpose. Who are you apart from the things that you have acquired in life? Who are you apart from, even your children? I was watching this video of this woman. She was crying so badly because her child was going to kindergarten for the first time. And she was like, oh my gosh, I just don't know what to do. And, me and my baby have been together for these first 5 years. And now I'm sending them off to school, and I don't know if they'll be okay. And, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but who were you before you had that child? What woman were you before you had that child, right? Remember that woman. That's a part of life. Children, have their own purpose. Your job has its own mission statement and vision statement before you even came on board and got hired. So always check with yourself. Is the people and places and things that's in my life, are they still tied to my higher purpose? Or am I just so holding on to them because it's all I know, it makes me feel safe and secure, and I'm no longer growing? All right? So ask yourself that this week. The wisdom card that you received is Truth Be Told. So let's see what that has to say to you. Truth be told. Truth be told. Honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial. Wow. The willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. This is the truth, which is the essence of a thing. There is the truth, which is the essence of a thing. And then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is. Peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. Wow. Nothing less than surrender to what is. Peeling off the layers of denial that have kept you in an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed. Wow, that is so powerful, because here, I really am feeling that some of the things that you may find quote unquote heartbreaking this week, or maybe you're already walking into it, is because of any denial that you were in. Maybe you were feeling like your job should not have fired you, or that they should have paid you more. This person should not have left you, and how everybody did you wrong, and how nothing's working out for you, and this should be doing this and that should be doing. No, everybody should be doing whatever it is that they're doing. People should be doing whatever it is that they're doing, or at least they're going to do what they're going to do. But that knowing that truth and understanding that if you're holding on too tightly to something because it made you feel secure, you have to go back and remember your purpose. Because one thing I know is that when you deviate from your purpose, when you get off aligned with your purpose, your higher self, your God, the universe, whatever, will seek to realign you. And sometimes that realignment is heartbreaking because we're holding on so tightly to the things that made us feel secure. But your security should be found within your purpose. And then when you know your purpose, you align to those people, places, and things that are in line with your purpose. But if you're looking for somebody else to give you your purpose, or your job, or your children, or whatever else, you're going to be totally heartbreaking. It's going to be hard to get over because you're thinking something and someone else should be giving you your purpose. Get in tune with who you are. Face the truth about whatever it is you need to face the truth about, and then understand, and then tap into your heart chakra energy to move forward. All right. So that is your reading for this week, September 8th through the 14th. I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure you click the link in my bio to book a personal reading, get the magic of self-love, and leave a donation if you feel so inclined. Make sure you comment your card selection so that you can be in the running to win our September giveaway. Until we speak again, I'm wishing you so much peace and love. All right, y'all. So welcome to the results video for card group number 3. If you skipped ahead and you missed out on my announcements I gave at the beginning, after you watch this, make sure you go back and listen to the announcements, because I talk about how today's reading is very much connected to last week's reading. It's okay if you missed last week's pick a card. If you're just starting out here, that's totally fine. But this week, September 8th through the 14th, we are looking at walking in your divine purpose. And last week we were talking about aligning to what alignments you need to make so that you end the year with success. And so we want to make sure that you, this week we're focusing on your purpose. And I talk about that importance of knowing what your purpose is. So make sure you watch that, because I don't want y'all to get so all up into just these readings and you miss the greater point. So make sure you invest in yourself by going back and just spending a few minutes to watch those announcements if you skipped ahead. Also, make sure you click the link below to book a personal reading, get the magic of self-love, and to leave a donation if you feel so inclined. So the flowers, these are dried petals that are on top of your cards. And they come from the calendula flower. If you've seen it written, it looks like calendula. Looks like calendar, but doula at the end. But it's pronounced calendula. And it's a very solar energy kind of flower. It helps when it's used for magical purposes. People use it for like adding power, adding self to willpower, and also good luck and abundance and prosperity. So it's yellow. It's connected to, like I said, that solar energy. And so if you want to learn more about calendula, make sure that you Google calendula. So at the top of your deck, I have, or top of your card stack, see if I can move that over. I have a goddess energy card. Whether you're a man or a woman, the goddess energy, the message of the goddesses is for everyone. And so some of the goddesses I'm very familiar with, some I'm learning about, and I don't flip these cards over before I start the video, so I don't know what goddess you have received. And so the goddess that you received this week, September 8th through the 14th. Wow, it's Mama Kila. Mama Kila. She represents the moon. Look at that card for a minute. She's very intuitive, I can already tell. She helps you to see what you can't see, which is what the moon does. The moon reflects the solar energy. So the sun sometimes can be so blinding that we can't see what's hidden. And so the moon is that part of us, or the moon represents our intuition, the part of us that helps us to see what is not obvious to the eyes. And so, wow. And this week, because we're looking at your purpose, it'll be very interesting to read her message to see what she has to say as it relates to you walking in your purpose this week. So let's see what message she has. Now we'll read two messages. The empowerment message, which just lets you know what overall message she has for you and how you can be empowered with her energy this week. Then I will also read the alignment message. So if you find yourself out of alignment with this particular energy, then it's what you need to know. And let me say this also, make sure you come back throughout the week and rewatch this section again, because you may hear something now that doesn't make sense to you until we get further into the week. So make sure you come back later and you watch this again. The empowerment message of Mama Kila is, she is the Incan goddess of the moon. She presides over the power of cycles and seasons. The moon rules the night sky, returning full 13 times in a year. The ancients marked time by the moon to know when to plant, when to harvest, when to store food, and when to celebrate fertility. Right now, you are invited to see what is familiar and decide whether you need to improve on it or leave things as they are. The answer to your inquiry can be found in the timing of things and the cycle you're in. You can apply the idea of natural cycles to relationships, creative projects, personal growth, and more. If you are honest with yourself, you will see there is no way to control these cycles, only to use the creative energy they offer to help you. If your relationship is unclear, yet brimming with potential, you might turn to the new moon energy that shows up in the spring cycle of life. In that case, you just need to allow the relationship to grow naturally and be clear in your intentions. When your outer world seems to be slowing down, with obstacles rising up and temporarily blocking your every move, do not put up a resistance. Instead, take advantage of the need to rest and recalibrate your intentions as you wait for the cycle to change. No matter what, like the cycles of the moon, there is divine order in everything that is happening in your life right now. Once you know this, the goddess Mama Kila welcomes you to her divine moon dance of co-creation. And the alignment message says, sometimes you feel out of sync with life, frustrated that the universe isn't providing you with what you desire. Do you want what you want, exactly how and when you want it, and feel like the great goddess is ignoring you? You may be wanting something to happen faster than it's meant to occur. Remember, the conditions of your life are temporal and ever changing. Maybe you have just been unaware of the cycle you're in, and so you've been missing the signals. The moon goddess Mama Kila knows the cycles intimately, and she'll let you know when it's time for the next phase. Mama Kila is always on track with the cycles of creation, and you must trust this wisdom. Her alignment task for you is to recognize and work with the natural cycle you are in. You will be amazed as alignment with the rhythm of the universe allows you to once again co create consciously and surrender to life on life's terms. What a beautiful dance when Mama Keela offers you her support. Wow. So, the word that was repeated so often in this message is cycles. Cycles. And the moon definitely is all about cycles. If you pay attention to the moon, whether you are really somebody who, does moon rituals, or you just like the moon, like, you notice that sometimes you can see the moon, right? Sometimes it's only a tiny, tiny slither of a crescent. Sliver of a crescent. What did I say? Slither? Sliver. It's a tiny, just a tiny crescent. Other times it's like a half moon. Like as I'm filming this video, I think we're at the half moon phase. And then other times it looks full, but it's really not. And then other times it is completely full, and then it starts to go back through that phase again and go all the way back down to where you can't see it anymore. And the moon in astrology does represent the cycles that we go through. It represents even our moods. In a 24-hour period of time, do you know how many cycles of moods you can have? You can wake up feeling great. Something can happen, and then it changes your mood, and you're frustrated. Then you get stuck in traffic and you're irritated. But then you eat something really good and you're happy again. And then you get a good report back from your boss, or you're an entrepreneur and you have it's a good sales day, and then you're feeling ecstatic. Then you realize you forgot to you didn't prepare what was for dinner that night, and you realize you got to go to the grocery store at the end of the day, and then you're irritated because it's like, oh my gosh, and then your favorite show comes on TV that night and you're happy again. But then a storm comes and satellite, whatever TV signal gets messed up and it didn't record your show, and then you're mad. I know I'm going through a lot right here, but I'm just saying is that, in astrology, and those of you who I highly encourage you to get, if you don't get the full magic of me intuitive natal chart reading, get the miniature edition where I look at your sun, moon, and rising sign. Because so often we only look at our sun sign, but we don't pay attention to our personal moon sign. So your moon represents, in your own birth chart, represents how you change, how your emotions are changeable, how your moods are changeable, and so in a 24-hour period of time, you can have tons of emotions and moods, right? Just like the moon changes. One day it looks one way, the very next day is either bigger or smaller. The moon represents the cycles that we go through in a 24-hour period of time. It represents the cycles that we go through in life in general. So you have to know what cycle you're in. Sometimes you are in the planting cycle of your life, meaning this is the time when you are putting in a lot of energy and effort. You're not getting the results that you want because it's planting season for you. Maybe you just started your business and you're expecting to become a millionaire today, and it's like, no, you ain't even set up your website yet. You ain't even register your business with the state. You didn't you're in the planting season. And then some of you're in the harvest season, so you are reaping what you've sown. Now you're getting the results out of your business or your job. You've been there for any length of time, and now you're seeing the results, or you didn't plant on time, and so now you're reaping nothing, and you're frustrated with that. So what you are asked this week, because again, we're looking at your purpose. And I really so want us to move past just these little temporary delights, because the moon sometimes can get us confused into only looking at these temporary delights and not realizing that things change. So you always have to keep your eye on the prize. You always have to keep your eye on your bigger purpose, not just on the relationship you have right now, or the job you have right now, or what your children are doing today in this moment, but keep your eye on the bigger picture so that your moods aren't fluctuating so vastly. When you know your purpose, you're not upset when you're in the planting season and you're not reaping yet. Why? Because you know your purpose. You know, a planter does not get upset when they just put the seed in the ground that they're not getting the harvest yet, because they know the purpose is to put the seed in the ground. You know what I'm saying? So ask yourself, what cycle am I in? This is what Mama Keela is asking you to reflect on. If you're in a planting season in any area of your life, so you're not reaping the harvest yet, then why are you frustrated? You shouldn't be frustrated, because you're in the planting season. Or if you feel like you've been planting for a very, very long time and you should be reaping, then look at ways in your life in which you are reaping what you've sown. Pay attention to the cycles, and come back also and listen to that alignment message, because some of you may be missing the signals of the cycle that you're in because you're thinking you're in another cycle that you're not in. You are, if you just had a baby, for example, you can't expect to be having the same experiences that somebody who has a teenager has. You're in a different cycle. If you just entered into a relationship and everything is all woo and happy and, heart flutters and everything like that, you're not in the same cycle as somebody who's been married for 30 years and they've been through all of the challenges, or vice versa. If you've been married for 30 years, you're not in the same cycle as somebody who is in the dating cycle. You know what I mean? So pay attention to what cycles you're in, and also pay attention to what cycles you're repeating, because some of you may find that you're not elevating from a certain space because you're missing the signals and you're repeating certain cycles over and over again. You could be planting over and over and over again, and you're wondering why you're not having the harvest that you want. It's because you keep pulling your seed up in advance way too quickly. You want to be married for 20 years, but every time you date somebody, you quit them in 2 weeks. You didn't even get a chance to get to know that person. So you probably aren't, if you're not getting to where you want to get to, ask yourself, why are you repeating the same cycles over and over again? What lessons are you missing? All right, so from your cards here, the bottom card is your general wisdom and information that you need, and the card that crosses it helps you to know how you can help or hinder that general energy there. So the cards that you receive, wow, the Ace of Cups and the World. The Ace of Cups and the World. The Ace of Cups is very much connected to the moon energy, because the Ace of Cups is when you are receiving, like I was saying before, the moon can represent moods and emotions on a real basic level. So the Ace of Cups represents when opportunities are coming to you for emotional fulfillment, heart fulfillment, love energy, heart energy, emotional energy, all of that kind of stuff is represented by the Ace of Cups. But look at that, like it's a hand coming out of the sky. It's like God, the divine, you know what I'm saying? The Most High, whoever, just bringing you an opportunity to be emotionally fulfilled. This could come in the form of creativity. You may have creative ideas this week that really, oh my gosh, they're really like just so emotionally fulfilling. It's like, wow, like a new idea of something you want to pursue, a new, or even a new thing or a new person to love, crossing paths with you. That brings you emotional fulfillment, that really kind of awakens that emotional part of you, that resparks that joy, that love, that excitement, that inspiration. Look for opportunities this week where you can be inspired. Look for opportunities this week where, again, I was saying before how your purpose cannot be determined by things outside of you, but things outside of you can trigger what's within you, right? You may come across something this week that reminds you of the things that you love. It could be something like an art class, right? You go to an art class, or you just go into an art supply store, and it just reminds you of when you used to love to draw, or you used to love to paint, and it inspires you again. It reignites that heart energy within you. So yes, it is something outside of you, but is igniting something within you. It's bringing alive the parts of you that were once dormant. Things, you might have come through a period where you weren't as excited about much, in your love life or your career or creativity or just whatever. And then this Ace of Cups, this opportunity comes about where it reignites your passion. It reignites, the things that bring you joy and excitement, and fulfillment, emotional fulfillment again. You may have been stuck in a cycle. You may have been stuck in a cycle for quite some time. And this week you get a burst of energy. You get a burst of what some may say is good luck, something coming to you that offers you an opportunity of emotional fulfillment and joy. Right? So be on the lookout for those things, because this card is crossed by the world, and the world is symbolizes completion. Look, this woman, she's sitting on top of the world with her butterfly wings. You know what I mean? So it's like the caterpillar has become the butterfly, and the opportunity to complete something, to complete a project, to bring something to fullness, to bring something to fruition is coming to you right now. So in the world usually represents cycles, like the moon. The world represents the world card in tarot represents going through all of the cycles, having gone through the planting stage and the work stage and the tilling the ground and the planting and the pulling up of the weeds and harvesting a little bit, and then going back, planting more seeds. The world card represents the fullness of the cycles of the moon. The moon is actually literally going around the world, the earth, as the earth goes around the sun. And so it's all about divine timing. It's all about divine cycles, knowing what cycle you're in, and celebrating, having joy and excitement, knowing that you are on task, you are on target. Just don't get distracted. Like, the only distraction that could come to you is you feeling like, like it said in the alignment task, feeling like you're not where you want to be yet, or feeling like, or mistaking one cycle for another. But in this reading, what I'm really feeling for most of you is that, you're being reignited and re-inspired. Maybe it's something that you started in the past that you kind of let go of, or you gave up hope on. And the Ace of Cups is saying, well, look, here comes some divine inspiration, some divine fulfillment to reignite that fulfillment within you, to complete the task, to complete the project, to pursue that love, to, maybe you've gone through a challenging phase in your relationship, and this is saying that, hey, that love energy is going to be reignited. That love and that emotional fulfillment is coming again. So that y'all can have completion in your love romance, it doesn't have to, and not to say that it's ending, but it doesn't have to. If you're in a stagnant place, it doesn't have to, whatever you're stagnant in doesn't have to stay stagnant. You can achieve that goal. You can return back to love in your relationship. You can feel that passion and that fulfillment in your partnerships, or in your, even in your creative endeavors. You may have reached a stagnant point in your career or your business or whatever, and you just don't know what to do. And it's like this week you're being offered an opportunity to be re-inspired, to remember that creative energy that got you started again. You know what I mean? So you can complete it and start anew. Both of these, the Ace of Cups is like starting fresh, and the world is like completion. But look how satisfied she is. It's like, wow. I don't know if you can see that, but she's so content. She's so satisfied because she did it. You know what I mean? She's so satisfied. So this is like an auspicious time. And look at all of this blue. You know what I mean? It's just making me feel like this is such, this maybe isn't the time to look at everything just from the logical standpoint, but look at things from an emotional standpoint, and be open to emotional fulfillment. Be open to completing those things that were in tune with your heart, you know, they were in tune with your heart and really stepping into those things. So let's see what your wisdom card says. Between worlds. Between worlds. So let's see what that card says and what insight it has to bring. Between worlds, transitions, not being quite out of one situation and fully engaged in another. Temporary blindness, no man's land. Between the worlds is where you must let go of the tendency to make assumptions. This is a time when you are unable to see what is ahead. Cultivate curiosity and trust the process of change and growth. You are done learning the lessons of recent experiences. In this place between what was and what will be is a state of making and unmaking and making again. What is essential now is to admit not knowing. There is a great freedom and power to be unleashed. A mystery that is not yours to understand weaves the web of life within a divine matrix of consciousness greater than your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, desires, and decisions. The seeds that were planted in the past begin to take root, but what surfaces will probably not be what you expect. When you are between the worlds, you are invited to see with the curious eyes of a child, glimpsing a rainbow for the first time. Do so and you will not be disappointed. Wow. So I really feel like what this is saying here, because these two cards are like a beginning and an end. This is like the start of something, or the igniting of something emotionally fulfilling, and this is the completion of that. And so some of you may find yourself between that, like, I know what I want to do, I know who I love, I know what inspires me, but I'm not fully at the completion yet. And so between worlds is saying, you know, instead of being moody about it, because moon represents the moods, but understand what cycle you're in and be okay with being in the in-between, not knowing yet you're stepping into this completion, the full outcome of it, but also holding on to what keeps you inspired. I really feel like that this is a good reading, that this between worlds is not a bad space to be in for those of you who find yourself in there. This is really a time for you to acknowledge where you are. You know, you planted the seeds, but the full harvest isn't there yet. So cultivate what you've planted. Cultivate, if you're in a relationship, you know, cultivate that relationship. Continue to pour loving energy into it. If you're working on something, a creative project, or just a project in general for work or whatever, continue to pour loving energy into it. You know, you're not fully at the completion end of it like the world, you know, but you're not necessarily at the start of it. But continue to know that it's changing. This is a transition period, and it's okay to be in this transition period. Don't allow the transition to make you feel so uncomfortable and so lost. You are right on task. You are right where you need to be. Continue to allow yourself to find fulfillment and pleasure in where you are, because where you are is taking you to where you want to be. And when you find yourself, if you find yourself off task, just remember the alignment message that Mama Keela has, is that you right now are like the moon, ever changing, ever, you know, moving from a new moon to a full moon, back to a new moon. That's this cycle. That's the cycle of not just life, you know, but everything that we do. We start something, we get a transition space, then we complete it so that we can start again. But you are a vessel of creative power. You are a vessel of creative energy. You're always bringing something new to life. All right. So that's a beautiful space to be in. I want you to see the beauty in where you are right now, because you're always bringing something to life. Look at the little things that come that bring you inspiration and love energy, and be thankful and be full of gratitude this week. Don't look at changes and transitions as a negative. It's a positive, because you're constantly growing. Your purpose is you're constantly coming into full awareness of yourself and your purpose. You know, and I don't know why in my mind I just see, even some of you may be artists, but you know, we are all creatives in our own way. And some of you may literally be, it's like when you complete a painting, And then you're done with that, and then you pull out a brand new canvas and you're starting from scratch. And you don't know what it's going to be, but the excitement of what it could be, is what inspires you. Always stay inspired this week. Stay inspired. Stay inspired, because good things are coming. You're on your way. All right, so that is the reading for you all for this week, September 8th through the 14th. You are all walking in your divine purpose, and it's all good. All right, so make sure you click the link below. Make sure you go back and watch those announcements, and that you also come back and watch this reading again throughout the week so that you can catch anything that you might have missed. Click the link below to book a personal reading, get the magic of self-love, and leave a donation if this reading has been beneficial to you in any way. Until I speak to you all again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. All right, so thank you all for watching the reading, pick a card reading for September 8th through the 14th. Make sure you comment your card selections below if you are watching this on or before September 9th so that you can be automatically entered to win our September giveaway. Make sure you come back here and re-watch whatever card you selected, because something you heard today you might have missed, and so you want to come back and re-listen to it again to pick up those jewels of wisdom that you might need throughout the week. Thank you all again for watching. Click the link below to book a personal reading, get the magic of self-love, leave a donation, and just learn more about what I do. So until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thank you all for watching.